Peace and joy, guys. Welcome back to another video, Drumheller Farms. And hey, I'm out here in the morning getting ready to do a morning cattle move. Got all the cattle up, letting them go ahead and poop and urinate on that old paddock that they're in before I move them into this fresh cell for the day. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is paddock sizes and perimeter fencing. I had a guy reach out to me a couple days ago who was a customer from my city business that has become a friend, and he said, "Hey man, can I pick your brain about some stuff?" And I said, "Is it about farming?" excitingly, and he said, "Yes it is." I said, "Let's talk all afternoon, man." I gladly talked to him about farming for about an hour the other afternoon. But his question was asking me about setting up his fencing on his new farm that he just purchased. They're gonna run some cattle. He recently sold a smaller homesteaded farm to get something a little bit bigger so he could get some cattle, and you know, he's asking about laneways and different ideas that he had, and you know, I just tried to encourage him that just get a perimeter fence up. You know, get your perimeter fence up, and then once you start getting your animals in there, you can kind of decide what works best for your operation. And I went up last night. I was out here setting up this paddock, and it really kind of reminded me of our conversation, because this paddock that we have set up for this 12-hour move is really wonky. Okay, you can see we got a little corner dog leg here. If you see this fence, it weaves in and out of all of these frost frees that we have up and down here for our pastured poultry operation. It actually goes around a group of chicken tractors and behind some net fencing where the egg layers and the turkeys are. Another little funky spot is up here. We've got another little corridor, I would call it, up inside this little nook right there. And why is this such a funky little paddock? Well, it's because look at these two playing this morning. You know, this is our chicken field, and I do everything I can to not come out here with a tractor and a bush hog and knock all this grass down. You know, the cattle are here. I'm gonna run them in here and get this knocked down and use the animal instead of using fossil fuel and all these other things. You know, instead of costing me money to come out here, which it wouldn't cost much, but cost money to come out here and mow this down, why not make some money with these four-hooved animals? Come in here, eat everything we can down, and let the animal work for us. That's what they're here to do, right? These are, every one of these animals are my employees, and they are here to work for me, and let's make them do that. So back to my point, your paddock's not going to be the same every time you come into a field. I wish I would have recorded last time. We had two sets of chicken tractors running last time. I had to weave between one set and another set. They had all kinds of funky stuff they were doing to graze in between those, but you know what? They grazed in between them. They respected the wire, and that's really the only thing that matters. Let's get these cattle moved. They're hooting and hollering. They're ready to get into their fresh paddock for the next 12 hours, and I'll show you the paddock they just came out of. There you are. Happens every time. All right, so I don't have a lot of time. I got to get into work. But I do want to show you the paddock they came out of, because this paddock's even shaped really funky as well. So you can see what we've done here. We've blocked off this little section from the rest of the field, which this field's already a little L-shaped and funky to begin with. Ooh, look at that manure pat. Real nice. Real nice. And you know, here's a perfect example about how all you need is a perimeter fence, and then you set your paddocks up from there. You know, this fence you would think would run right over to the other perimeter fence, but it doesn't. We blocked this off. We gave them that little section on the other side of this temporary fence with the paddock the day before, because that paddock needed a little more material. They eat more grass during the day than they do in their afternoon move. So our afternoon moves are, the paddock sizes are about half the size as they are in our morning moves, because, well, probably because they sleep at night, right? They don't eat as much at night because they spend some of their night sleeping. So we gave them this little extra piece with that paddock and then just blocked it right off. And you can see this paddock that they have here is just a little U-shaped area in the middle of a field. So it's never the same, okay? You know, and when we come back in here, our next graze, it's probably not going to be the same paddock again. You know, we might do something completely different. We might put a fence here, give them that little paddock with this piece, give them that whole field. I mean, there's just, it's different, and we'll make that decision when we come out here and assess how much grass we have, how many animals we have. You know, there's a lot of different factors that come into play when we decide our paddock sizes. Well, I've wasted no time going after all this grass, and I can also see that the calves have not wasted any time to get on the other side of that little temporary fence and start messing with the turkeys over there. I really encourage this fella to not be so concerned about what exactly he was going to set things up on the interior portion of his fencing. You know, just get your perimeter up and then start to figure out what works best for your operation, for what animals you have. There's a lot of things that come into play before starting to set up infrastructure on inside of your fencing. Some beautiful grass out here, guys. So you can see we're weaving in and out of all the chicken tractors. We're weaving in and out of the frost freeze, and we're letting them take this grass down and get everything we can while we're over on this side of the road and this farm. This is no knock on him. I'm sure he's probably going to watch this video, and you know, it's going to be basically kind of what I've already said to him. But this is just a perfect example of what you're going to have to do with your paddocks at different times of the year. You know, if those chicken tractors were over here, I'd put a big old fence around them over there, and we'd weave in and out of them chicken tractors. You know, everybody kind of wants the answers up front, and myself included. You know, when I started doing this, I still do, but followed a lot of different guys, Greg, Judy, and different people that, you know, showed them out there making paddocks. And I always, you know, I was just looking for, hey, what size paddock do I put up? You know, how much area do I give them? And that answer doesn't exist. Until you get your own animals, till you get them on your own ground, until you get out there and start grazing them, there's no one prescription that's gonna give you the answer that you're looking for on how to graze your cattle. And it's just you getting out there with some step-in post and some poly wire and figuring it out. And that's what we had to do on this paddock. You know, we had to figure out how are we going to weave this stuff in between all our frost frees, around our chicken tractors, around the turkeys and the egg layers and everything else, all into this one field. And this is the definition of multi-species grazing right here. And it's a beautiful sight. Well, the sun is fully up now, which means I'm late. I gotta pack a couple orders, and I gotta get into work and get my day going. So I just wanted to hop on here and make a quick video and talk a little bit about paddock sizes and perimeter fences. So I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Really helps me out. Hit the like button as well. That really gets our videos showing up on other people's pages, so that our channel will grow and we can, you know, spread the word about regenerative agriculture and let everybody know that there's an easier way, there's a less expensive way, and there's a more profitable way to raise your cattle and to raise chickens, to raise lambs, to raise pork. So again, appreciate you watching. God bless.